Jeffrey E., why you got that thing on your head? You on campus? Put your head up. Have a good camera, let on you. You see that camera? You don't see me holding it, Tim?
Big ones and big ones.
That's, that camera, Bobby turned it right on over here.
Hey, dog.
I said,
Push it on the gas.
Somebody got their cup. Somebody got their cup. Every cup in the bedroom, trying to tell you to get your cup, Jeremy. That's Bob's cup. You got an app what's in it. One grenade, concrete. Take out. Everybody. Take out. All of us, basically. A couple of us but they were like, Apple cafeteria. One make his own type mom.
Yeah.
You look so much better. Oh, you look so much better.
Go on, Mr. Man, you ready?
Hey guys, she's ready to start group. She's waiting for y'all to quiet down.
Thank you, Bobby.
Not move the screen today, so let's try to be quiet and respectful.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Hey, we're gonna keep our self-conversation going now. This is group. If it's not pertaining to the group, please keep it to yourself. Please keep your self-conversation to yourself. We're talking about groups. Saturday, relapse prevention. I'm sorry?
Let's keep passing out.
No, we're not going to be preaching from the choir today. For those who does not, we're going to be respectful. We're going to agree to disagree with each person's opinion. Because that's their opinion, not yours. Theirs. Okay? So, did we all get good sleep last night?
Yeah.
No?
Get good what?
Sleep.
No.
Is it a lesson?
Exactly.
job, Mr.
Make the best of it.
Thanks for sharing.
So, identifying high risk situations. So high risk situation will be different for everyone. I think one of the reasons I did it last week, I did a display high risk situation. We don't put ourselves there, not intentionally, but we get there. Okay? Everyone got to take a look, I guess.
Might be running short.
Well, if we don't have enough, y'all could share until the break and make more copies. Is that feasible? Like this next year, next year. Share along.
You okay with that?
Would y'all be able to share one from?
Yeah.
Here,
We good.
Are we all good? Are we good?
Oh, yeah.
Who wants to be a reader today?
All right. High risk situation.
Just who they are, the paragraph, the first.
A high-risk situation is something that happens to us that want to use alcohol and drugs after making a commitment not to. We don't get into a high-risk situation by accident. We set ourselves up and get drawn into the situation. Some people call it building up to drinking drugs, but others call it sour, setting ourselves up to relapse. Once we're in a situation we don't know what to do, we say that it's really not our fault that we're there, that we didn't plan it, that it's just something, that it just happened and there's nothing to do about it. Identifying a high-risk situation can be tricky because the same situation can make some people want to use alcohol or drugs and have no effect on other people. Sometimes the same high-risk situation can make us want to use alcohol or other drugs at some time, but not at others.
Thank you. So, what do you all think about that paragraph? Do we intentionally set ourselves up? Do you?
For me, I don't consciously set myself up, but I think it's more subconscious. I'll put myself in a situation that is high risk, like going to, I don't know, like going to an Applebee's or something that I used to hang out and drink those tall boys, you know.
Happy hour.
Straining in a toxic relationship or friendship. Knowing I shouldn't be there with this person because it's gonna create an argument, it's gonna create conflict, and I say, all right, I'm gonna blow up, and I'm gonna say, fucking let's drink.
Isolation.
That too. Isolation.
Yeah, mine is the same as his, the toxic relationship. I went back with my old girlfriend and she was still using. I kind of was like just stupid and green to the fact that, you know, I shouldn't do that, even though I've been hearing it or whatever. But I like kind of, you know, just following my heart or whatever. And think I can save her or something, she can tell me right now, whatever.
Can you save other people? Who can you save?
Yourself.
Yourself. Because you have to help yourself to be right before you could even think about extending that to help someone else. Because that person has to want to save themselves as well. You want it for them, but they don't want it for themselves. So there's nothing you can do. But keep yourself right. So therefore, you guys are going back to the community eventually. So life goes on, life happens. So therefore, you're gonna be in those situations. You're gonna be a wedding, somebody mentioned a wedding, you know, funeral, barbecues, all type of normal things that we do, family. So having that mindset to walk away, to not indulge, even though they're your family, they're your homeboys, people you've known all your life. What are you gonna do in those situations? So you have to utilize the skills that what's right. And what's right for you, what you're about. Are you really kind of here? Because you can be in the crowd, you're not part of the crowd. In other words, so therefore, if you feel that you're strong enough to hang out with people that you used to hang out with, your old friends or whatever not, that's still doing the same thing that you used to do. Are you strong enough? Have you changed? Not to indulge and say maybe just one cup, one drink, one pill. What do you do? Because, it's easier said than done. When you're in this situation, it's a whole different ballgame, all thinking goes out the window. So what do you think? Getting your mind right, utilizing your tools, and that help you?
Yeah, that does it.
In order to manage high-risk situations, we must first know what our high-risk situations are and how we get into them. We identify the high-risk situations that put us at risk of relapse by completing 2 steps. Reading a list of the common high-risk situations that can cause relapse, identifying the high-risk situations that apply to you, and writing titles and descriptions of your high-risk situations that make them easy for you to remember and recognize when they happen. The list of high-risk situations in exercise 3.1 has been developed to help you to recognize the typical types of situations that can lead you from abstinence back into the use of alcohol and other drugs. Now, after reading each paragraph, pause for a moment and notice what you were thinking and feeling. You can do this by putting a check mark next to any high-risk situation you believe you may experience within the near future, putting a question mark next to any high-risk situation that you have difficulty in understanding, putting an asterisk next to any high-risk situation that causes strong or intense feelings as you read it. Discussing the high-risk situations that you mark with a check mark, question mark, or asterisk with your therapist, sponsor, or significant others. These discussions will help you develop a better understanding of what they represent and what you need to do to effectively manage them without using alcohol or other drugs.
That's the final conflict. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, problem. Problem forces us to stop. We have a serious problem of trying to relate to our alcohol or drug use. We feel an inner conflict. One part wants us to drink, the other drugging despite the problem. So therefore, when you are in a crisis, when you have a problem, some people escape it by drinking, using, to use the problem as an example, or disagreements or whatever, not perfect situation, like the change the rules here. How many people, if they were out in the normal world, would want to go and use? Because what? It is not fair, you're mad, you're frustrated, and there's nothing you can do about it. So what do? We tend to want to use just to escape not dealing with the situation at hand, and then think about it later. We all find excuses to do things that it doesn't warrant your norm, to escape our problem instead of dealing. The hardest part is to deal with our issues. We might not want to admit it, but it's not easy. I'm not gonna say it's hard. So therefore, another part says, good, and hold back the cleanse. The chief use of alcohol and drugs will cause serious problems. we convince ourselves that it would be a good idea to stop drinking and drugging until the situation calms down. But we feel deprived because we don't believe we can have a good life without drinking or drugging. We leave the door open to change our mind later when things have calmed down. So who feels this way sometimes?
Well, I know from the time of the sobriety that I had, right, it's just like 11 months, almost a year. I knew when I had urges, if I waited them out, if I just waited them out, it would pass. You know, when I be thinking about it, even like if I get my mind made up and I'm like, I can do this and that, and I get that little excitement in me or whatever. If I waited it out, it would pass. And I noticed that same formula translate over to problems. When situations arise, things are out of my control or whatever, waiting worked for that too. That same philosophy would apply to that. If I just waited it out, it would pass, you know, the feeling, the anxiety, the you know, that, you know, I don't know if you know, but they know.
So, I'm sure you all have urges to get in here at times. Yes? So, you can't do nothing, so what you do? You have to wait it out. Some get cranky. Yes?
Yes.
Therefore, it's practicing a behavior. Practicing the change in the behavior. If you can do it in here, which is more a controlled environment, it's here to practice. So therefore, when you practice something long enough, it becomes part of your routine, a changed behavior. So it's all in practicing, change your thinking, and, you know, and think about the consequences. Consequences are new. We all have different consequences, yes?
Yes.
No, what would be some of the consequences for you?
Hungover. Withdrawal.
Anyone else?
Consequences. Financial.
Relax.
Financial.
Huh?
Financial.
And that's relationship,
Incarceration,
restoration,
homelessness,
homelessness,
Death.
death. Yeah. Because, you know, the drug affects our bodies differently.
Good time.
But time, that's the consequences for you. For how long? Oh, man.
Short-term meeting.
So is it worth it after the hour? Huh?
Right, see.
You're miserable, right? Because what? You're here and now. You're thinking in the moment. So after the moment is gone, everything you worked for and put into it has gone down the drain. For 1 hour, 15, 20 minutes, however long that I last for, is it worth it? So this is why, you know your triggers. You know what it is. So in the boxes, okay, with this problem, this one to be number 2.
The student says, we don't make the connection. It says, we refuse to see the relationship between our drinking and drugging and the problems we're having. We convince ourselves that we have the right to do despite the problem. Nobody has the right to make us stop. We tell ourselves that the real problem isn't our drinking and drugging. Sure, we've got some serious problems. That's why we're drinking and drugging, to help us cope with these problems.
So what do y'all think about that statement?
That's a lie.
It's a lie?
Tell yourself you're
Why?
fine. Oh, I know I can't drink and drugs. I mean, I consciously know I can't drink and drugs successfully.
Why it isn't just right?
dramatic.
So dramatic. Right.
And everything right down the drain, connected to, work, finances, your whole life will be back.
Absolutely.
So a lot of people, that's your mom.
Right. So what this is saying, what is the reason why you're doing it? You're trying to escape a problem. Some people it's emotional, some, childhood trauma, their dad used to beat them a lot. They were raped, they were in a car accident, whatever the trauma is. Could be a bad relationship, abusive relationship. So people do those things to what? To cope. The drug is a coping mechanism. You're trying to forget whatever the trauma is. It's too painful for you to deal with it, so therefore, the drugs, the alcohol, so by the time you know it, you're so far out, you can't stop. Because if you stop, everything comes back. The clarity, the trauma. So everybody experiences some form of trauma, different degrees or whatever. So dealing with that trauma, letting go of that pain will help everybody use the cope to forget. What are you trying to forget? What are you trying to not remember? What are you trying to not to deal with? So that's where the drugs come in. So when some people, they're frustrated. Some have PTSD, post-traumatic stress. They have flashbacks of whatever the event is, whatever the trauma is. So therefore, they don't want to fight back. So they're coming to drugs. And the stage that it's not, and what the consequences is too much. So when we deal with whatever the main issue is, it's not the drug. It's the reason why we use the drug. Yeah.
I feel I'm glad you say that, because I was always say, drugs are being nothing but a tenth of your problem. I call it the people problem or personality.
Speak up.
Now you did it.
Speak up.
I did.
Let them hear you.
You over there tit for tat. I'm not thinking nothing.
We have unresolved issues. He said that he agrees. The reason why people drink is not because of the drugs. The drugs that's used to soothe the problem. So when you deal with the problem, you don't need to soothe the pain or whatever. That makes me drink. Some people say it's people. No, it's coming forward, it's not going down. So, who wants to do number 3?
3. We deny we're addicted. We tell ourselves we're in control of our alcohol and drug use. It doesn't control us. We can stop it anytime we want to. We're not drinking or drugging now, and that proves we're in control. Nobody is going to convince us that some kind of slobbering, no good, out of control drunk or drugging. That we're so.
So who agrees, denies?
Most bands, well, most people don't want to admit that they're out of control because they want to relate that to how less of a person.
Yeah.
I was just gonna say, it's crazy because I started using it because I was just curious. I was young. I never had any like issues that I was running from, but me getting high created issues with my family and stuff, and that's what made me start running from that. I kept getting high because it's like the problems I've made while getting high. I started running from something after when I was young or anything like that. It was just, but then I realized like me getting high all those years and curiosity and just trying to blend in, I progressed worse and worse, and then that created problems, and that's where the problems came in. Drugs actually created the problems that I didn't even have from before. So it's just, it created issues, like that, then it just it brought me pain, and I didn't have any really pain to run from beginning with, but then it created all this shit that I ended up taking myself deeper into.
Yeah. Anyone else?
Whenever I relapse due to my injury. And I thought I could control it. You know, I fell off the house, broke my knee and foot. And I was getting a bunch of pain medications. And I thought I could control it or whatever. And shit, I was running out my prescription like a week early. Then I had to go find shit. Then I thought I had that under control. And then it was just all a lie. Then I started using heroin. And I knew I was under control. And then, yeah, just one thing led to another thing, and you control it. But eventually, you might have control of it, but eventually you're going to lose control.
Absolutely. Like a slippery slope. You keep sliding and you can't catch yourself.
Yes.
Okay, number 4, pushing away people who can help.
We prove we are not alcoholic or drug abusers by telling ourselves that we have friends and people who care about us and they don't mind our drinking and drugging at all. There are other people who don't like us. There are other people who don't like us the way we are. If these people aren't really our friends who want us to stop, if they were our friends, they wouldn't be causing us problems by sticking their nose where they don't belong. If they were our friends, they would not be causing problems, sticking their noses where they don't belong. If they just leave us alone, everything will be fine.
So who believes that? Who thought that way?
It goes back to that isolation thing. Anybody that, if I've made a decision that I'm gonna drink or drug, then, anybody that could potentially help me, I wanna keep them away. Not answer the phone, not respond to text, whatever.
I was gonna say, like anybody to help me or try to help me, it's like, I want something to do, man, let me do me. You fucking do you know, mind your own business.
Doing my heart.
That's how I work.
I think people doing my heart, asking questions, so much they want to tell people that they mind, they blow high. They want business. People knows that.
But there will be no difference for your best. If they didn't see that, you know.
I was gonna say, it's crazy because, I had friends that pointed out to me and they just started kind of avoiding hanging out with me because I kept getting high and just fucking getting super fucked up. Not like, just smoking weed and shit. I was like, I'm off for the races. And it's crazy because these people now, when I hit them up, they're actually like happy to hear from me. And there's certain friends that I have that, my one friend, he has a daughter now. And he's like changed his whole life. And it's like, it's cool to see like the progress he's made, just out there doing it on his own. But he's also supported me because this is like my brother, and he's like, he's happy, to even hear that I'm doing good. He's like, and he's always like, tell Mario too, he likes to email you and they're like, tell Mario, I hope y'all are doing good. Tell me, I'm like, I hope you're doing good. Tell Mario, because he knows both of us. And, and it's just crazy because it's like, these are people I'm like, dang, dude, I never even expected either of us to be doing good. So it's like, it makes me happy to just see the progress like other people make. Even back home in Michigan, I got another friend, Darian. He hits me up all the time and he's like, yo, dude, like he's just happy to hear all this shit. And it's just like, it's crazy because I started avoiding hanging out with people because they'd be like, oh, everyone looked at me as like, I'm a bad guy. People in Michigan remember me as the last guy they met me as. So the person they met me as is this person who was just starting to fall off the deep end. I started getting heavy into pills when I was 14, 15 years old. I shot up ketamine when I was 15. People just remember me as that guy, fucking just getting fucked up, who was, doing good and just fucking, that's how people remember you as. I went back to Michigan. I remember everyone was like, not everyone, but there was a couple, like, my buddy's sister was like, you know, you need to stay away from my brother, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, I'm not that person no more. But it's crazy because 3 or 4 years passes by and they still think I'm that guy, you know, that fucking is just fucking the bad influence, you know. And it's crazy because, I mean, even people would like, they point out to me like, oh, so-and-so doesn't really like want to hang out with you no more because he thinks this, he kind of thinks, you know, you're a crackhead. I'm like, dude, I don't even smoke crack. Why does he think that? It's just like, but still, you know, I don't smoke crack, you know, but it doesn't, you know, when calling me a crackhead, he's just pretty much calling me a drug addict, you know. But me, I'm over like, I don't smoke crack. He's just a fucking idiot, you know. Like, you know, it's just crazy because, like, I don't know, but it just makes me happy to see that, like, some of my friends are actually, like, really fucking supportive over this shit. And they're glad to see I'm doing good. These are people that I can actually bring back in my life, and these are friends that are positive, you know, in my life, you know, that, and then even just bring back, like, you know, my buddy with a daughter, like I'm saying him, he's doing good. He's happy here, I'm doing good. And, like, this is somebody that I used to fucking get fucked up with, you know, and now he has a daughter, he's really changed his life around. It's like, holy shit, dude. Like, this is impossible for anybody.
So, how many of us, you know, in
Ever heard anyone say, those who mind don't matter, those who matter don't mind,
those who matter don't matter?
those who mind don't matter, those who matter don't mind. That's how it was. You care what I'm doing. I don't need you. People that were in my circle didn't care. On me, I'm gonna do whatever I'm doing. Stay out of it. That's how it was.
So,
They shouldn't be sticking their nose where it don't belong. That's how I felt for a long time. I mean, sometimes I still feel that way, but you gotta let certain people be. Not everybody.
yes, but it's not we're not an island. Isolation is not good. So therefore, how many of us in here has pushed people away, messed up the relationship when we were on drugs? And
No, I was just, I've done it.
and also don't know how to repair the relationship. How do you repair that relationship of those people you have pushed away, or probably stole from, or made horrible mistakes with?
I would say for me, it's now just kind of like proving I can do it when I get out. Like, I gotta do this when I get out. You know, and here I can talk this big game, you know, but when I get out, it's a whole different story.
Absolutely.
And, which is insane because it's like, I feel like, you know, it's like, if I can stay clean in here, you know, and it holds me back, like, and I refuse to get high, why would I go out there and get high? Like, what's the difference? You know, like, I've been in programs where it's like, oh, I don't want to get high, I've turned shit down, you know? And it's like, okay, if I can do that in here, what makes it when I get out, all of a sudden I need to get high? And I look back in the past too, like, dang, I stayed clean in this program. What made me get out, get high? If I could refuse it in the program, why when I got out, all of a sudden shit changed, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I get it, it's a different situation out there, but it's like, you know, it kind of just doesn't make sense to me, you know, like, why just blow all this time I just wasted in here because of getting high? Why I'm in here to go out and get high again? You know, it kind of just, it makes me think, like, why the fuck would I do that? You know?
I mean, for me, the only way to repair relationships that I've destroyed in that way is to work the steps. You know, and work them in the order that they're written. I can't jump step 9 when I first come into the rooms and start making amends to people. But no, it doesn't work that way.
Any others?
I wanted to say something about it too. Like, there was a time whenever I went to prison, and usually every time I go to prison, I've been to prison 4 times. Every time I go to prison, I get high, I drink, I don't give a fuck. But I went to prison my last sentence, it was a 5-year sentence, and I didn't get high at all. I was work for you know what I'm saying? So I came out with in mind, I'm not gonna get high, I don't want to get high no more. It's so much time, but the people I surrounded myself around, like as soon as I got out there, I didn't have no place to go, right? So I go back to my mom's house, brothers selling drugs, I got all these people around me that were using drugs, man, you know what I'm saying? So you just gotta be mindful who you surround yourself around, man. But if you go around the wrong fucking person, hang around that person too long, you gonna get high. I don't care how strong you are, eventually, one night you're gonna just say, yeah, you're gonna get a fucking surround yourself around people that are fucking actually in recovery, you're doing the right thing, man. Yeah. That's what you right. I don't care if it's your fucking family.
And as far as parent relationships, initially I didn't know how at all, you know, but I wanted to learn that actual change, you know, actual change and you implement this change, and people can see the change in you, coupled with some time, and then eventually it does get repaired. But you know, you resort back to your old ways, and then you're right back to square one.
So therefore, go ahead.
Okay, you got a person up relationship?
Just a little bit.
Yeah, stop playing with me, man.
His voice so-
Hey, you need to come a little closer.
his voice so
It's not
soft.
particular, you know,
His voice is just so soft.
Really? His voice is not soft enough.
Kid, grow up.
Oh, it's fine. Go ahead.
My commitment with my relationship, with the commitment I made with my girlfriend, my ex, with my kids,
Hello.
it could, if I'm not strong enough, see, like you said, like, why should he, not to make it a devil, I always want to say me. I'm not playing with that demon. That demon is the master of all kind of cases. He masters everything. This is what I call an addiction. He is laying that bait at your ass right now. You know what I'm saying? It's that demon that you, like your personality, something you disagree with, whatever it is. One of mine is anger and isolation. Okay? If I don't, it's like deal with it, get ammunition from that demon, that's what's gonna happen. I'm end up doing the same shit I was doing when I came in. This is like a safe haven. This is a safe environment because it's a place that you know that there's no drugs in there. Like he said about a couple of weeks ago, if these people that take their hands off and they have drugs in them, shit, only 95% of them will do it. You know what I'm saying? But you got to learn about you, not nobody else. Your problems and your issues are different than everybody else. I don't care if they might be in the same category. I'm angry, he's angry, but your level might be lower than mine. Okay? So I have to learn about what's really going on with Bob. See, I'm gonna fuck up with I tell everybody I'm very fucked up. So I'm trying to learn. Believe me, I'm getting this. I got this father everywhere in the class about me. I'm fucked up. So I'm learning. Thank you.
You want to say something, sir?
Couldn't quite tell, but I kind of get what he's trying to say. Right, it's what's so soft. I just can't quite hear it, but I kind of soft and sweet. But those person in my verbal experience, for me, personally, I don't know, me, I did 7 years one time. I got on that Greyhound, hands down up to that bus comes, I got off, almost by that bus, I did 7 years. And all through that bus ride, I'm thinking about, damn, man, I'm gonna go get a bigger piece, and then what they were giving out in prison, I'm not gonna pay for that, because that's nothing right there. And then it's a waste of time because you're gonna be count time, walking around. walking around that compound looking crazy. So I said, nah. So I waited 7 years. I got on that Greyhound bus. I got to the bus room. I walked around, but I walked in my whole neighborhood. There was the same people walking around from 7 years ago. I seen the same people, so I know where to get some dope from. So on my steps up, I'm like, damn man, where's that? They said, damn, what's up? Wait a minute, nothing. But when we were taking that blast, they were, hey, damn man, where you been there, this and that. Because they wanted to be talking to me. But at the same time, it's all on that person, really. It's all on that person. Because I know people that did 15 years, 7 years, that just did 15 years of your life, and then usually go straight into the dope hole and go get super. But if people done did 15 years and turn their life around, like, man, I don't even want that shit. I got a bachelor degree in prison. I took all type of courses. Man, I'm good, man. And them boys are doing good and to this day. So it's all on that person, really. It's all on that person. It's always gonna be on that person, him or her.
It's all in your mindset.
One thing that helps me is like, I think about it like this, because if I get kicked out and I violate it, I'm going to prison. This is my last chance. So I kind of ask this, it kind of goes to everybody, really. But if I ask myself, like, if I were to get kicked out today, would I go use? Knowing I'm looking at time, would I go use? And that's something that's like, if I can be real with myself and say no matter, even though if I'm looking at time to go to prison, if I can answer no to that, then I'm ready. If I'm like, yes, I'm gonna get high because I'm going to prison, I might as well just get high, fuck it, then that means I'm not ready. So that's when I ask myself, if I get kicked out today and I know I'm looking at fucking time, I'm gonna be going away a while. And if I can answer myself honestly, no, that I'll get out and not use, even if I have to go do that time, then I'm ready. But if I say yes, fuck it, I'm going to prison, I'm gonna get high, like then that means like I'm not ready, So that's something I just gotta ask you. Like, if you were to get kicked out today, would you get high?
Because right, they would use that as an excuse to get high.
Oh, like another highway situation, some people should be put in their business where it don't belong. Like, for example, if I'm trying to stay sober, then I'm not supposed to be hanging around my old neighborhood and stuff like that. You can't be putting yourself in high set risk like that and think that you're not gonna use. And the whole thing is some words of knowledge for the community. Watch your thoughts. Whatever that Chinese man said, watch your thoughts because your thoughts become your actions. Watch your actions because your actions become your lifestyle. Watch your lifestyle because something, whatever. So watch your thoughts because your thoughts is your destiny. That's just the word of knowledge for everyone.
Watch your thoughts.
Someone made a statement that said, you have to practice what you preach. You practice it.
Yeah.
Really? Okay.
I practice it all the time. Like I said, when I get out of here, I'm gonna fight and I'm gonna rap. I got all my raps in there in the clutch. I work out every day. I'm in shape. I'm ready.
Okay, a lot of conversation, you understand? That don't seem to believe what I said.
Yeah. I mean, they don't gotta believe because that's their problem. At the end of the day, I know my destiny. I know what I'm headed. So at the end of the day, I know I'm good.
Hey, that's his truth.
Let me prove it.
You might not believe it, but you believe it.
He said, okay, come on.
Don't worry.
Small crowd.
It seems like you guys know more than I do.
But that's why I pray to Jesus. I pray to God.
What's good?
I pray to God every day. I ask God, please, Jesus, help me take this addiction away from me. Take this cigarette addiction away from me, God, please.
So what you say, you trade one addiction for another?
God, I say, Jesus, please help me to stop doing what I'm doing and help me to do the right thing.
So are you confessing to using the cigarette?
Confessing to my, no,
Bang, bang.
So you don't do it
I'm
anymore,
gonna take this urge.
right? You say you don't do it anymore, you still have the urge.
Doesn't do it
I
any
have the
less.
urge. That's what I pray. I ask Jesus, please take the urges from me.
You know, God look high and look low, and they sit high and look low. You mind your head. God will punish you for that.
Remember, the purpose of growth is to shit what you believe. He believes it. You might not, but he believes it.
Yeah,
You want me to say
He know John
all over the computer.
First John.
I don't want whatever nobody has to say about themselves, like, okay, that's you, but whenever you trying to give your advice to the community and I see your actions ain't there, I'm gonna say what I have to say. I don't need your advice if you're not here doing your efforts. That's why it's just the way I am. You know what I mean? I take plenty advice from people that I know that's working this program right, but I'm aware of all shit. I had to be. This is where I'm at. You know what I mean? But especially that shit right there gets to me whenever I hear somebody trying to give good advice, but you out there doing dumb shit. That just be. You know what I mean?
I just told everybody watch their stuff. That's all. Everybody should watch their thinking.
Yeah, but shit.
The thinking is.
Yeah, that's everybody. I'm in this community, bro. So you need to start using I statements for yourself, bro.
There you go. All right, community. I should watch my thinking because my thinking is my destiny.
And your actions?
And my actions are my destiny.
Thought actions.
Damn, finna you smart. Cause it comes from you.
I just wanted to add real quick to kind of what he's saying too. I mean, Ben was saying yesterday, at the end of the day, if anyone's really doing that, they're lying to themselves. You know, I'm lying to myself if I were to come up here and just, or if I'm, everything I say, I'm lying to myself if I'm not speaking, you know, if I'm not being honest about it. So at the end of the day, if you're not really working this program, you're not lying to anybody, you're not, you know, manipulating and finessing them. You're only lying to yourself at the end of the day. And it's the truth. That's all there is to it. You know, if you don't want to work the program, don't work it. But don't waste your time. Just like Arvis, for example. That man yesterday just said, "I don't smoke no more."
That
In
nigga got
group,
caught smoking.
in front of everybody, and then gets caught by Marcus. Right after he got caught by Patrick once, and then Marcus an hour later. It's an example of you're just not being honest with yourself at the end of the day. If you can't just be quiet. If you don't want to be honest, you know, work the program.
Like Ben says,
Exactly.
Hey, that's why I'm just here to line up active. But at the same time, I'm gonna hear what that other person saying. Start people's business, start people's way. I want people to start my business, start my way. I'm not gonna mess it up for other people to survive it. What I do, and that's my business, but I'm gonna keep my shit to me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna rub it off on anybody. I'm gonna do my thing. I'm here to bang out the address, but at the same time, I'm learning something also. So at the same time, I'm taking something also. You know what I'm saying? Because I do have a drug problem. You know what I'm saying? I can't get it down. I can't get it drug down. So now I'm trying to work a little understanding, better understanding, and patience. Because I can wait. I really can wait. But it's on me. I start people business now. I don't try. I start people business. I start people business. But they do that from them. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel.
So I hope when you.
It's just when people have other agendas on what they do, they have hidden agendas. But they don't want to bring them out and say it. Or me being 45 years old, I speak free. And people don't like when you speak free. People don't like that upfront shit, that shit that's right in your face. And people can't handle that right there. They can't handle being truthful with you. They cannot handle that. And like me, when a person tell me, Aaron, what it was it drugs? I'm like, when I look at you, what it was a self thing. It's me. But Aaron, did you do homeless out here doing drugs? Like, damn, look at you, man. Good dude, always, what was it? I always tell a person, it was a self thing. It wasn't nothing else. It wasn't no drugs, none of that. It's come within yourself. Because if yourself want to do better, yourself want to do better. If you move better for yourself, and you tired of being stuck on that motherfucking ground, waking up, sleeping in the goddamn park, going behind dumpsters and taking a blast and shit, they're gonna stop it. Because you don't like it. So you gonna stop it when you get ready to. Because there's always a time and place, Father Yahweh give us. That time and place where you gonna realize, damn, what the fuck I've been doing for down there 30-some years, 40-some years, man. Damn, what? Time and place for everything.
Oh, well, I didn't know that, with people like y'all, it seemed like y'all real. I didn't know that people going through the things I'm going through. I started doing drugs late, maybe 4 years ago, incarcerated 2 of those. I started off on cocaine, went to a party where the city people were, and to be trusted, I tried it. I said, no, I didn't know the effect of it. I was thinking it's like Ice Cube or somebody, they put it on their finger, and they your mouth will numb. I didn't know 5 minutes later I was gonna be, I didn't know that part. I didn't know that I liked these drugs. Yeah, so I started, that's how I started. I said, well, if I get this, you need to tell me all I gotta do is be trusted. I'm gonna fuck all you regular folks. That's okay. That's how it was. That's how I started. So every week, or maybe twice a week, 8 ball, if anybody knows what that is. So I started doing that for about a year, maybe a year and a half. Then I met Marley, and I stopped doing cocaine. Period. I had no use for cocaine. I hid it, the coke, but Marley I couldn't hide. It took this. That was the devil to me. That was the devil. So I'm learning. Then I get arrested. I've been in jail ever since 19 months. I didn't know it was guys like y'all that's going through the same thing. When you want to stop, you can't stop. I ain't know what is wrong. Why can't you stop? I'm sitting in my truck. Why can't you stop? Sometimes I record a week. Well, maybe 30 minutes later, I was like, wait, Bobby or each time. From where I was, I quit. I had to go kind of time after my other
Money. Yeah. There's money up in the
Yeah, that's bad.
You're right, place. You're not alone. Not alone. It's over here. You are over there if you're behavior. So hopefully it don't stay in that long. That stay clean. Now when you get to the door, you go back to.
And that's gonna be the hard part.
Right. And that's what that's prevention is.
Just like he said, stipulation, I work better on being grounded, like stipulation on, because I knew that I don't want to get locked up, because I can't do nothing, I can't move freely, I can't touch the things like I wanted to. So when stipulation is put on the person, him or her, they always let it be. We gonna realize, hey, man, we don't wanna, you know what I'm saying? I don't wanna get grounded no more. Hey,
I know what an addict is.
I mean, that's part of
If
it.
it didn't have name, why could I stop without too much? I'm there.
All the secret, you know, I and there over there, it's all part of mine.
Because when you're married, you like to see yourself out. It's like your new self here, and then come back on the old self. What happened? What was I doing? You know, you see yourself. So that you want to be used to. Are we gonna go back up there and pick up our old self? Yes, no?
No.
No, hope not, because all this would be for nothing. We have to let go of the old and start with the new and change our thinking. They do a group on criminal thinking, therefore, here is the key. And being aware of your triggers, your situation, your neighborhood, your environment, or whatever it is that triggers you to you. But therefore, we're gonna pick this back up at 10:30.
Good girl.